Why the eagle flies so high, and other stories. Hi friends, you're welcome back to my channel. This is your friend Mrs. Glory Charisma Chimimiri Nnamdi. In today's video, we are going to enjoy some African folk tales. Who else is happy? Alright. And make sure you read till the very end. Believe you me, these stories are very interesting. Okay, let's go. Why the eagle flies higher than the other birds. Ederes, the last son of Akema, a skillful carver and sculptor. He was also a well-known farmer, well-known across Zedo, his kingdom. Any carved or sculpture work done by Akema had no rival. He had taught his sons how to carve and sculpt, and they were all doing well in the art. One morning, Edera, the last son of Akema, was accompanying his father to the farm to work and cut wood for carving. On their way, they met his father's friend. As soon as they saw each other, his father's friend began to call his father by his nickname, Ahelepen, which means the eagle. After his father and his friend had greeted, they left each other and headed towards their intended direction. As soon as they parted, Edera asked his father what his nickname meant, and his father told him eagle. Why eagle? Because eagle flies higher than every other bird. Besides, it has other qualities which other birds do not have, his father replied. Why does the eagle fly higher than every other bird? His son asked. I shall tell you the story, my son, his father began. When the Creator created each animal, He gave them the opportunity to make a special request, which He granted. After the eagle was created, she made her own special request, which was that the Creator should grant her the ability to fly above every other bird. The Creator granted it with a condition that it would be only through practice so that her eaglets could acquire the skill of flying higher than other birds. It would not be hereditary. The eagle agreed and left. Since then, the eagle had learned to teach her children how to fly higher than other birds. The eagle started by making her nest on top of the tallest trees, where she laid her eggs, incubated them, and hatched them. When it was time for her eaglets to learn to fly, the tallest trees formed the lowest base. The eagle took her eagles on routine flight practice. By so doing, the eagle flies higher than every other bird. Akima told his son to let his own success from his beginning so that he would fly higher than him in the practice of their family business, carving and sculpturing. The man who never lied. Once upon a time, there lived a wise man by the name Muhammad. He never lied. All the people in the land, even the ones who lived 20 days away, knew about him. The king heard about Muhammad and ordered his subjects to bring him to the palace. He looked at the wise man and asked, Muhammad, is it true that you have never lied? It's true. And you will never lie in your life? I'm sure about that. Okay, tell the truth, but be careful. The lie is cunning and it gets on your tongue easily. Several days passed and the king called Muhammad once again. There was a big crowd. The king was about to go hunting. The king held his horse by the mane. His left foot was already on the stirrup. He ordered Muhammad, go to my summer palace and tell the queen I'll be with her for lunch. Tell her to prepare a big feast. You will have lunch with me then. Muhammad bowed down and went to the queen. Then the king laughed and said, we won't go hunting. Now Muhammad will lie to the king. Tomorrow we will laugh on his behalf. But the wise Mermaid went to the palace and said, "Maybe you should prepare a big feast for lunch tomorrow, and maybe you shouldn't. Maybe the king will come by noon, and maybe he won't." "Tell me, will he come or won't he?" asked the queen. "I don't know whether he put his right foot on the stirrup or he put his left foot on the ground after I left." Everybody waited for the king. He came the next day and said to the queen, "The wise Mermaid, who never lies, lied to you yesterday." But the queen told him about the works of Mermaid, and the king realized that the wise man never lies and says only that which he saw with his own eyes. The end. Now let's see some questions. Number 1. What moral lessons did you learn from the story? Number 2. If you were to be mermaid, what would you have done? Number 3. What do you think about the king's cunning behavior towards his subjects? The boy who wanted to be a man. There was once a young boy who couldn't wait to be a man. He asked his mother every day, "Mother, when am I a man?" "When you provide food for your family." "Okay," the little boy said as he closed his eyes and went to sleep. He asked his mother and father every day and every night until one day his mother's answer was different. "You are old enough to become a man. Go out and see if you're able to be who you have desired to become." But the boy didn't know what to do. He didn't know the first thing about having a family or feeding them. And so, because he didn't want anyone to know he was clueless, he set out to find a family on his own and figure out a way to feed them himself. The young boy walked through the forest until he came upon a beautiful bush full of red and purple berries. "These look good to eat. I will feed them to my family once I have one." So the boy gathered the berries in a sack and kept walking. As he was turning back home, he saw a snake dropping from a tree. "Look, my family is falling down just to meet me." So he picked up the snake and put it in his satchel. The young boy almost made it home when he stumbled across a wild piglet sniffing around a patch of trees. My family will not even allow me to walk by them without making sure that I notice them and take them with me. So he tied up the piglet to a tree next to his home and went inside for bed. He made sure he asked his father the same question before sleep came, and this time his father's answer was different as well. "It is time for you to show that you can be a man. Tomorrow, set out to do what you know to do." But the young boy didn't close his eyes that night because he didn't even know how to build a house. But he didn't want anyone to know he was clueless. So instead of asking questions, the next day the young boy took his snake, berries, and piglet and traveled a little way past his old home. He found a flat piece of land and decided, this is a good spot to build my house. He placed all his family there and went to gather materials. He found straw and small pieces of wood, leaves, and fine rope. A long time passed, but before dark, the young boy had built a small hut. He gathered his family and went inside. My father was right. After a day of hard work, what you want to do is relax in your old home. He decided it was time to feed his family. He took the berries out of the sack, untied the piglet, and brought the snake out of the satchel. I am now a man. I have found my family, provided them with food, and have built my own house. Look at my piglet eating those beautiful berries. But suddenly the piglet started squealing and turning colors. Oh no, the young boy cried. The berries must be poisonous. The piglet was squealing and stomping, causing such a commotion all around, then suddenly stepped on the snake. The snake was gravely injured and with its dying breath struck the pig with a poisonous bite. The young boy jumped back, fell and knocked his tie straw hat down with a loud thump. When the scattered straw settled, all the young boy could see were mushy berries, the purple piglet, and the squished snake. He walked home dejected and told his parents what happened. His parents hugged him but told him cheerfully, we knew you would have trouble, son, but you wanted to grow up so badly. You were not aware that it takes quite a while to know how to be a man. Enjoy being our little boy. Enjoy every day while you can, because tomorrow will come, whether you are ready for it or not. The young boy didn't ask any questions that night, but went to sleep soundly with a smile on his face, thinking about all the time he has to enjoy being a boy before becoming a man. The ears never get past the head. Once upon a time, there lived a family in a village near the large forest. The head of the family is called Tatu, Father Kabongo. He had a wife called Mamu, Mother Meander, and they had 2 sons, Shiswaka the elder and Mulumba the younger. Tatu Kabongo cared so much about his sons' education. He wanted them to learn with courage hunting, fishing, and gathering. In addition, he wanted them to grow up with good morals. He always counseled them whenever they were up to mischief. As time went on, the 2 children grew up and wanted to become independent. Therefore, Shiswaka and Mulumba, his brother, decided to leave home. Shiswaka married a beautiful woman called Luena, about 800 kilometers from his. Village and had children. Mulumba moved to the east near the river where he married Kaja, and they also had children. The two boys became responsible men. They worked hard for the survival of their families and were the envy of other villagers. This made them to become very proud. One day, Tatu Kabongo, their father, got up and went to see his eldest son, Shiswaka. After taking his bag and his gun, he set off and traveled a long distance to get to the village where his eldest son lived. When he got there, he was welcomed with great joy. They prepared a good meal for him and he went to bed and rested. Two months after Tatu Kabongo had been staying with his son, something very shocking happened. Shiswaka returned from hunting, and when he got home, he found his father sitting under a mango tree. His wife was late in preparing dinner. Suddenly, Shiswaka raised the machete and cut off the head of his wife. Seized with panic, his father asked him, "Why did you do that?" Chiswaka looked at his father and said, "Father, do not be afraid. I did not do anything wrong." A moment after Chiswaka cut his wife's head off, he put it back on her neck, and the woman was revived and continued preparing dinner. The next morning, the father returned home after seeing the miracle of his first son. A few days later, the father decided to visit his second son. He set off to the village in which his second son, Mulumba, lived. When Tatu Kabongo arrived at Mulumba's home, he was received very warmly. The whole family ate and talked excitedly together. The next day, he and Mulumba went fishing. They brought back plenty of fish, which they gave to his wife to celebrate the arrival of Tatu Kabongo. After this welcome, while resting, Tatu Kabongo saw his son call his wife and children into his hut and then set the hut on fire. His children, his wife, and all his possessions were consumed by fire. His father was very terrified. This reminded him of the events that had occurred in his first son, Chiswaka's house. Tatu Kabongo, very confused, asked his son, "But what are you doing? Why did you do such a thing?" Mulumba answered his father, saying, "Father, there is nothing. Only the flesh is weak." But do not fear. A few minutes later, the fire died down, and surprisingly, the boars that was in the fire did not burn. "What magic!" exclaimed Tatu Kabongo as the wife and children came out of the boss safe and sound. Tatu Kabongo came to his senses and kept his cool. The next day, he returned to his village and did not mention what happened in his son's house to anyone. But he continued to wonder where his children got their power. A few months after much contemplation, he decided to send for his two sons to come and visit him. They decided to honor the invitation and visit their parents, since they had not come back home in a long time. When they arrived, their mother made them a feast like the old days with great joy because she had not seen the children for a long time. Tatu Kabongo, who was a great hunter, asked his children to go hunting with him. They took shotguns, and Tatu Kabongo forgot the machete at home. Halfway to their destination, Tatu Kabongo asked one of his sons, Chiswaka, to go back and bring the machete. When Chiswaka got close to their house, he met his father lying on the ground, dead, with his mother wailing. Chiswaka tried to convince the villagers that his father was back in the forest. In fact, he was the one who sent him back to bring the machete, but no one listened to him. Chiswaka quickly ran into the forest and told him all that he saw at home. His father began to smile. And asked Mulumba, his second son, to go and fetch the machete from the house. When he got there, he was met with the same situation as his brother. He also tried to convince the whole village that their father was still alive. But everybody also treated him like a sorcerer. He also returned to tell his father the same. Finally, the father told them to go home. When they arrived at the village, they found that the court was quiet. Their mother was in the kitchen. Everything was normal. Both sons then remembered the shows they had done to their father, and they touched their head. They were so ashamed, and they told their mother what they had done to their father and asked for forgiveness. So their father concluded by saying to them, "You did all this to scare me, but I showed you that you are children and ears never get past the head." The end. I hope you enjoyed the stories. Please subscribe, hit on the notification bell icon to stay notified on all our new videos. Stay put and enjoy. Thank you. Don't forget to like and share this video. See you next time. Bye for now.